Yeah, so this brings me to a couple of things. So first of all, I think that this product opportunity explorer will help that is you have to define what your buy keywords are, right? So it's the
Hmm.
buy keyword. So there is a difference between keywords that lead to a purchase versus keywords that just are for browsing. So the search conversion is your data point that will tell
Hmm.
you which keywords are your buy keywords. And the second thing that that I thought of as you were talking about this. So as it happens, just yesterday, I had a meeting with one of the Amazon ad people. So we were reviewing a client, and she had this whole presentation prepared for the client. And what she was talking about was they they analyzed the shopper behavior on this particular client in terms of how long before they make the decision to purchase, pertaining to how they got to the listing in terms of the advertising method.
Hmm.
So, what she was saying was those who came to the listing by clicking a sponsored product ad made their decision almost the same day. And then that was only a small percentage of the traffic. If you left it with that, then a great majority would go up to 90 days before they completed the purchase. So what she was saying was, look, here is your complete potential. And as yet, you are realizing a small piece of it fast enough. So how do you reduce that? And how you reduce it, she was saying that you really need to spread your advertising across sponsored display and also sponsored brand ads where you do not necessarily drive for purchase, but put the focus on the brand and perhaps even your store. Because apparently, collectively, those things are working together, they reduce that buying cycle. And then you can get a much, much better return in a shorter period of time on your advertising dollars. So uh, I think that listening to you, in my mind, I'm thinking, because those are also keyword based as well as audience and store and brand and everything else. But some of these other non-buying keywords could be part of the way that you drive traffic so that you can build up your brand on Amazon in terms of the shopper's behavior. What do you think? I mean, is that something that you could use this for?
Yeah, no, I think you definitely can use it like you were talking about for, expanding your brand, doing more of a brand awareness play. Because to your point, um, it is helpful, the whole adage in advertising, if they run across you more than once, then they have that recognition when they get to maybe the sponsored product ad, which is, where you're seeing most buyer intent. And I would say that's something that correlates what we've seen is that sponsored products tends to have, the quickest, the most direct buyer intent with it. I think it has to do with the ad inventory as well as how they show up. They look a little bit more native, less like an ad, and are also directed specifically to a listing, which can very much make it a more like a very condensed and shorter, sharper funnel. And I would say like doing brand awareness plays is very valid, but it's helpful to know that that is your intent. So if your intent is to run, you're looking for very much purchase based, you're looking for, maybe your highest ROI, you are really dialed in and want to make sure, you have limited budget and you need to maximize the performance of that budget. If that's the type of advertising that you want to dig into more, which to be frank is most of our client base, then you would want to go very high shopper intent. You want to go super, and you're looking at bottom of the funnel, which is like, as the quickest path to purchase that we possibly can, and that's where you're going to see the biggest ROI from your advertising spend. Again, in terms of short-term gains, high ROI advertising, very much bottom of the funnel, very much high purchase intent. The one that you're talking about is more of a broader brand awareness play, which can be very good, but that strategy is a very long-term strategy and will always have, technically a lower ROAS attached to it, which if that's not what your brand needs to focus on right now, which that is more of a business decision than it is an advertising decision. I think all of us in advertising, if we're like, no holds barred and there's no contingencies on what we're doing, we would want to run both bottom of the funnel and top of the funnel plays. The thing we have to take into account is the fact that these are businesses and these businesses need different things at different times. So that's where we really focus on when it comes to building out ad strategy is the top of the funnel awareness play. Do we have the performance? Do we have the ad budget? Do we have everything else good in the business, as far as profits, cash flow, all of those things? If we're running really tight on cash flow, profits are struggling a little bit, then adding on a brand awareness play, even though, again, it's a long-term play, helpful to build the brand, potentially is really going to significantly impact the brand for the negative in the short term. So we need to make sure that we're tailoring whatever our ad approaches are to the intent and needs of the brand at the time.
Yeah. I mean, look, these advertising teams are usually there. I mean, they obviously they know what's going on in terms of advertising itself with all the latest things and everything. But ultimately, they are there to work for Amazon and get you to spend more money on things, especially the new things, because they also need to see the results of what they are rolling out is doing. So I always approach it with caution. However, this is what I took away from her conversation, and because she was showing some results, and they call it the peer performance. And what she was saying was, if you want to build a healthy operation with your advertising, where your historical data is your real asset base here that you can run off of, she was saying that sponsored products should be about 66% of your total ads. The rest should be separated around among. That she even included DSP a little bit. Sponsored brand is the next, and a sponsored brand and sponsored display are close to each other, and then she has a little bit of DSP in there, like it was single digits, like low single digits. So that gives you the better value, mainly because anything that you kind of grabbed through sponsored product, you can really bring it home with these much quicker. So I don't know. It's obviously everybody's different, and budgets always demand, the most return.